Atlanta, 2020. Rashard Brooks, impaired at the Wendy's, struggles with police. Shooting, Rashard Brooks dead. Controversy? You bet. 2 years later, charges dropped. I'm Jazz Berganzo, and this is what's next. All right. Hey, what's up, party people? Jazz Berganzo here. What's next? Hope you guys are having a good day today. And as always, your daily dose. Atlanta, 2020. Rashard Brooks, impaired at a Wendy's. Cops roll up. They start talking with him. Controversy ensues. Rashard Brooks shot and dead. Now, 2 years later, the charges against the Atlanta police officers that were involved in this dropped. Let's take a look. This comes out of the Daily Wire. Charges dropped against Atlanta officers in Rashard Brooks shooting. Two Atlanta officers who shot and killed 27-year-old Rashard Brooks outside of Wendy's restaurant in June of 2020 will not face charges for using deadly force, authorities announced Tuesday. Pete Skandalakis, executive director of the prosecutor's attorney's office in Council of Georgia, said Officer Garrett Rolfe, who shot Brooks twice in the back, and Officer Devin Bronson, the Atlanta Police Department, faced a dynamic situation that was quickly evolving. Such factors prompted a special prosecutor to drop the charges against the officers. June 12, 2020, Rolfe and Bronson responded to a call about a man who fell asleep at the wheel while waiting outside a drive-thru lane at Wendy's in South Atlanta. The officers approached Brooks, spoke to him for nearly 40 minutes before concluding that the 27-year-old man had been imbibed with too much alcohol, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Patrol car and bodycam footage from the officers reveal Brooks admitting that he consumed alcohol before his encounter with law enforcement. He would later consent to a portable field alcohol test that came back above the legal limit of 0.08 as soon as the officers tried to detain Brooks, because, of course, if you are over the legal limit, you have to be arrested. Take the test and you fail, you got to be arrested. The officers tried to detain Brooks. He resisted arrest and wrestled his way out of the officers' control, both who fell to the ground during the incident, resulting in Bronson's concussion. While the officers struggled to apprehend Brooks, he snatched Bronson's taser and attempted to fire at Rolfe while fleeing the scene. Now, does it constitute it as deadly force? Because now you're using a weapon from the officer against him. That's when Rolfe fired 3 shots at Brooks and ultimately killing him. Based on the facts and circumstances confronting Officer Rolfe and Officer Bronson in the case, it is my conclusion that the use of deadly force was objectively reasonable, and that they did not act with criminal intent, Skandalakis said for the Daily Mail. The Associated Press reports that Skandalakis called it a peaceful encounter that all of a sudden became a violent one. It's true. I've seen the entire footage, and 40 minutes they talked. Authorities terminated Rolfe and following the day. Of course, they followed the day, and would later announce warrants against the officer, including felony murder, aggravated assault, violation charges. Of course, these were all trumped-up charges. However, less than a year later, authorities overturned the decision in May of 2021 after a board review determined that the city did not follow proper procedures in disciplining the officer who had been in the force for 6 years with no priors. Not one. Not even someone say, hey, well, you know what? He gave me a raised eyebrow. Not even that. A warrant against Bronson, including charges of aggravated assault and violation of his oath. The Atlanta Police Department said it respects the special prosecutor's decision in the case and has faith in the criminal justice system. Both Officer Garrett Rolfe and Officer Devin Bronson are still employed with the APD, the department, according to Atlanta General Constitution. They are currently on administrative duty. Both officers will undergo Georgia POST recertification and training. It's procedure. Brooks' death came amid ongoing violent riots at a protest that raged across the United States by Antifa and Black Lives Matter activists over the death of the vaunted Saint George Kirby, bow your heads, who was mysteriously killed a few weeks before by Minneapolis police officers. Just 24 hours after the Atlanta policeman killed Brooks, rioters burned down the Wendy's where the incident occurred. Black lives do matter scandal, like I said during a press conference, according to Daily Mail. I spent my entire career representing black victims of crime. I understand that the encounters between police and the African American community at times are very volatile. But I would ask them to look at the facts of the case, and this isn't one of those cases. In this case, where the officers were willing to give Mr. Brooks every benefit of the doubt, and unfortunately, by his actions, this is what happened, he concluded. Now, I'm going to go from that to this. I'm going to show a little bit of the actual footage that happened in June of 2020. And this is where Brooks took the breathalyzer.
Blah, 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 blah. Stop. Very good.
I just had a few drinks. That's it.
How many?
1.5. Like I said, I was into the second cup. I told her, babe, let's go because I'm hungry.
Now, of course, as you can see the officer.
I'm not sure. It's something she ordered. She said top shelf or whatever.
Top shelf what?
1.08,
Like I said, it was her
which is
birthday.
over the legal limit.
It was my daughter's birthday, intent to, have a good time. And I said, babe, I'm hungry. Let's go. My baby's mom.
Now remember, this was on surveillance video and also the body cam footage. The full body cam footage was shown in its entirety. And yet, you had the Atlanta Police Department just jump and fire one and then file, insane charges against the other.
You don't remember what kind of drinks they were?
No, sir.
All right.
I really don't, Mr. Ross.
All right. I think you've had too much to drink to be driving. So put your hands behind your back for me.
Okay. Legal limit. Remember, he's over the legal limit. So now he'd say, oh, here we go. Here we go. You can hear the background. Struggling with police. You can hear it in the background. Taser. I'm going to stop it right there because right after that is where the shots occurred. I want to be surprised by the announcement, by the ruling from the prosecutor, and but it was a just ruling. It was a just resolution. It was a just conclusion to all the evidence presented, and the most evidence was the body cam footage. It wasn't damning evidence against the police department, against the police officers involved in the shooting. It basically showed them that for over 40 minutes, they spoke to Brooks. Got the whole situation out of him. Once they took the breathalyzer and it came back 1.08, which is over the legal limit, again, they had to charge him. They had to arrest him. And the second they tried to is when Brooks resisted. And they kept on trying to talk him down while he was resisting. He broke free, got a taser, aimed it at one of the officers, missed, and then shots rang out. So what happens? Because of, St. George Kirby and the peaceful protests, they were so peaceful they burned down the effing Wendy's and caused millions of dollars in damage, of course, by those wonderful Antifa and Black Lives Matter people. See, this is what happened when you jump to conclusions. This is what happens when you just fly off the handle and start firing everybody and filing charges against everybody left and right and center, because it's the politically correct thing to do, because it's politically expedient thing to do. And that's how you make mistakes. That's how you fuck things up. And that's exactly what happened. The Atlanta Police Department jumped to conclusions and they fucked it up. And then you had an attorney who came right out of the Johnny Cochran school and started saying, I'm filing this against the police officers. Everything outside of the Lindbergh baby kidnapping and the JFK assassination. But full circle, justice was served. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is what's next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.